Today, we embark on a journey across America, diving deep into the spine-chilling legends and eerie tales that haunt our land. From haunted roads to mysterious creatures, this is the first part of a series where we uncover the dark secrets of our nation's most legendary places. Alabama, Hell's Gate Bridge. Gather round, folks, and let me tell you a tale that's been passed down through generations. It's a story about a place not too far from here, a place that sends shivers down your spine just at the mention of its name. I'm talking about Hell's Gate Bridge in the heart of Alabama. Now, this ain't your regular bridge, oh no. Built back in the 1930s, it stretches over the murky waters of the Coosa River. But it's not the age or the location that gives this bridge its notorious reputation. It's what happened on one fateful night, many moons ago. The legend goes that a young couple was driving across the bridge when their car veered off and plunged into the river below. Some say it was a dark and stormy night, while others claim it was the work of something more sinister. The couple drowned, and ever since, their restless spirits have haunted the bridge. Folks around these parts will tell you if you stop your car in the middle of the bridge and turn off the engine, the ghosts of that young couple will join you. You'll see wet footprints appear on your car, as if they've climbed out of the river to take a seat beside you. But that's not all. Some who've dared to visit the bridge say if you look into the waters at night, you'll see the gates of hell itself opening up, a fiery abyss that threatens to drag you down with it. It's enough to keep even the bravest of souls away after dark. Over the years, Hell's Gate Bridge has fallen into disrepair. It's closed off now, too dangerous to cross. But that doesn't stop the curious and the thrill seekers. They come, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural, to feel that icy chill as they stand on the brink of another world. Alaska, the Kushtaka of the Alaskan Triangle. Well now, if you thought the tale of Hell's Gate Bridge was chilling, wait till you hear about our next legend. Let's journey far north, to a land where the wilderness stretches as far as the eye can see, and the nights are long and unforgiving. I'm talking about Alaska, home to the mysterious and deadly Alaskan Triangle. This here triangle is not your ordinary place. Stretching from Juneau to Barrow and Anchorage, it covers some of the most rugged and remote terrain in the world. But what makes this area truly frightening is not just the landscape, but the legend of the Kushtaka, the shape-shifting land otter man. You see, the Tlingit people, who've lived here for countless generations, tell tales of the Kushtaka. This creature isn't just a figment of the imagination, it's a cunning trickster, part man, part otter, with a penchant for luring unsuspecting souls into the depths of the now. Imagine you're trekking through the dense Alaskan forest, the snow crunching under your boots, and the cold wind biting at your skin. Suddenly you hear a cry for help. It sounds like someone you know, maybe a friend or a family member, calling out from the trees. Your heart races, and you follow the voice, deeper and deeper into the woods. But as you move closer, you realize something's not right. The voice seems to be coming from all around you, echoing through the trees. That's when you see it, a figure standing in the shadows. At first, it looks human, but as you approach, its form shifts and changes, revealing the true nature of the Kushtaka. The Kushtaka can mimic human voices to perfection, drawing you away from safety and into its clutches. Once it has you, the stories say, it can either turn you into one of its own or leave you lost and disoriented, a victim of the Alaskan wilderness. Those who manage to escape often speak of illusions and strange visions, tricks of the mind that are all too real. The Alaskan Triangle itself is a place of great mystery. Over the years, more than 16,000 people have vanished without a trace, and while some blame the treacherous terrain or the harsh weather, many believe the Kushtaka plays a role in these disappearances. The creature is said to use its supernatural abilities to create illusions, making it nearly impossible to escape once you've been ensnared. Local lore also tells of those who've been saved by the Kushtaka in times of peril, warming them with their presence and guiding them to safety. But these stories are few and far between, drowned out by the cries of those lost forever. to the cold grip of the Alaskan Triangle. Arizona, the ghosts of Slaughterhouse Canyon. From the icy wilderness of Alaska, we travel now to the dry, dusty landscapes of Arizona. This state is home to many legends, but none as haunting as the story of Slaughterhouse Canyon. Sit tight, folks, because this one's a real spine-tingler. Nestled deep in the heart of Kingman, Arizona, lies a desolate place known as Slaughterhouse Canyon. It's a name that alone sends chills down your spine, but the story behind it is even more harrowing. It's a tale of desperation, madness, and the lingering spirits of those who suffered. Back in the 1800s, a family lived in a small wooden shack at the bottom of this canyon. Times were tough, and the father would venture out into the wilds, searching for food to keep his family from starving. But one day, he didn't return. Days turned into weeks, and the family was left to fend for themselves in that God-forsaken place. With each passing day, the mother grew more desperate. Her children cried out in hunger, their frail bodies growing weaker. The walls of the canyon seemed to close in on her, and her mind began to unravel. The legend says that in a fit of madness, driven by the cries of her starving children, she did the unthinkable. One dark night, unable to bear their suffering any longer, she took their lives to spare them from the slow, agonizing death of starvation. But her torment didn't end there. The next morning, overcome with grief and horror at what she had done, she wandered through the canyon, her cries echoing off the walls, until she too succumbed to despair. To this day, folks claim that on quiet, moonlit nights, you can still hear the heart-wrenching wails of the mother, carried on the wind through Slaughterhouse Canyon. They say her spirit roams the canyon, searching for her lost children, her cries a chilling reminder of the tragedy that unfolded there. The ghosts of Slaughterhouse Canyon are a testament to the desperation and sorrow that can drive a person to madness. It's a place steeped in sadness, where the echoes of the past never truly fade away. Visitors report feeling an oppressive presence, as if the very air is thick with the weight of the tragedy that occurred. Arkansas, the Bogy Creek Monster. Deep in the heart of Fuke, Arkansas, lies a place known as Bogy Creek. It's an area shrouded in dense foliage and murky waters, the kind of place where the line between reality and myth gets a little blurry. And it's here that the legend of the Bogy Creek Monster was born. Back in the early 1970s, folks around these parts started reporting sightings of a creature that defied explanation. Described as a hulking, hairy beast standing nearly 7 feet tall, it was said to roam the swamps, its eyes glowing red in the night. They called it the Fuke Monster, but most know it as the Bogy Creek Monster. It all started when a local family claimed the creature had attacked their home, leaving behind deep claw marks and a trail of fear. Others soon came forward with their own tales of encounters: hunters, fishermen, even travelers just passing through. They all spoke of the same thing: a monstrous figure lurking in the shadows, watching, waiting. As the legend grew, so did the sightings. Some say the creature is a distant relative of Bigfoot, a reclusive giant that wants nothing more than to be left alone. But others believe there's something more sinister at play, that the Bogy Creek Monster is a guardian of the swamp, protecting its territory from intruders with a fierce and unrelenting aggression. Stories of the Bogy Creek Monster have been passed down through generations, each one adding a new layer to the mystery. Children would gather round campfires, listening wide-eyed as their elders recounted tales of narrow escapes and eerie encounters. The legend even inspired a cult classic film in 1972, cementing the monster's place in American folklore. To this day, people still venture into the swamps of Fuke, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive beast. They set up cameras and leave bait, all in the hopes of proving that the Bogy Creek Monster is more than just a story. But whether it's real or simply a product of overactive imaginations, one thing is certain: the legend lives on. California, the Charman. We're heading to sunny California, where beneath the golden rays lies a dark, fiery secret. Let's dive into the mystery of the Charman. Our story takes us to Bogy, a picturesque town surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills. But it's here, amidst the beauty, that a terrifying legend was born. The Charman. Now folks, this ain't just a tale to be told, it's an investigation. Grab your flashlights and maps, because we're about to uncover the truth together. Let's start at the beginning. It all began in 1948, when a massive wildfire swept through these parts. Among the victims was a man, horribly burned but miraculously alive. They say he lost his mind from the pain and grief, turning into something more beast than man, the Charman. Now I need your help. Keep your eyes peeled as we walk through these woods. Look for signs, charred trees, old foundations of burned down houses. Every clue brings us closer to understanding the Charman. Great job, folks. See those scorched marks on that tree? It's said that the Charman hides in these woods, his skin blackened and twisted, waiting for unsuspecting travelers. Legend has it, if you call out for help, pretending to be in distress, the Charman will come for you. His anguished spirit, still reliving the horrors of that fateful fire, is drawn to the cries of the helpless. But it's not just sightings. People claim to have heard his screams echoing through the night, a chilling reminder of his eternal torment. The smell of burning flesh sometimes fills the air, sending shivers down the spine of even the bravest souls. Now let's try something daring. We'll call out for help and see if the legend holds true. But remember, this is just for the brave-hearted. Help! Help! We're lost. Can you hear that, folks? The wind carries more than just leaves in these parts. There it is. Did you hear that? Stay close and don't wander off. The Charman isn't just a story, it's a warning. So, what have we learned tonight? Legends like the Charman are born from real tragedies, twisted by time and fear. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, these stories serve as a reminder of our own mortality and the thin line between life and death. Colorado. Legends of Riverdale Road. Nestled in the heart of Thornton, Colorado, lies a seemingly ordinary stretch of pavement. But as the locals will tell you, Riverdale Road is anything but ordinary. It's a place where the past and present collide, where stories of the supernatural come to life. Let's start our journey in the light of day. Riverdale Road looks harmless enough, but every mile is steeped in mystery. From ghostly apparitions to phantom vehicles, this road has it all. So let's take a drive and unravel the secrets of this haunted highway. As the sun sets and darkness creeps in, Riverdale Road takes on a different persona. The first legend we're exploring is that of the gates of hell. Legend has it, at the end of this road lies the charred remains of an old mansion. Once a grand estate, it was reportedly the site of a gruesome murder-suicide. The owner, driven mad, set fire to his home, taking his family with him. All that remains are the iron gates, dubbed the gates of hell, by those who've dared to visit. Visitors claim to hear anguished screams and see the shadows of the family wandering the grounds, forever trapped by the flames that consume them. Some even say the gates are a portal to another realm, where the souls of the damned reside. Next up, we have the tale of the phantom jogger. Legend goes, a young man was hit by a car while jogging along this very road. Now, his restless spirit haunts Riverdale, seeking justice for his untimely death. Drivers report hearing footsteps running alongside their vehicles, even when there's no one in sight. Some have even felt a thud on their car, as if they've struck something, only to find nothing there. But the eeriness doesn't end there. Riverdale Road is also known for its phantom vehicles. Imagine driving late at night and suddenly seeing headlights in your rearview mirror. You pull over to let the car pass, but it vanishes into thin air. These phantom cars, often described as old-fashioned and out of place, are said to appear and disappear without a trace, leaving behind only the lingering fear of the unknown. And then there's the hanging tree, a gnarled ancient oak where it's said a man was lynched long ago. On moonless nights, some have claimed to see a figure hanging from the branches, swinging in the breeze, a grim reminder of past injustices. Riverdale Road is a tapestry of tales, each one more chilling than the last. It's a place where the past never quite lets go, where every bend in the road holds a new mystery waiting to be uncovered. Connecticut. Crana. We leave behind the haunted roads and dark forests for the quaint, picturesque town of Monroe, Connecticut. But don't let its charm fool you. This town holds the legend of Crana, a story as old as time and twice as chilling. Our tale begins in the early 19th century in a small house on a hill. Crana, known to the townsfolk as the Wicked Witch of Monroe, lived here. Her story is one of mystery, suspicion, and a touch of the supernatural. Hannah was no ordinary woman. She was a widow, living alone after her husband mysteriously died by falling off a cliff. Rumors spread like wildfire, whispering that Hannah had bewitched him, leading to his untimely demise. From that day on, her reputation as a witch grew. The townsfolk believed Hannah had powers beyond the natural. They accused her of cursing their livestock, casting spells on their crops, and even causing bad weather. And Hannah, with her sharp tongue and piercing gaze, did little to dispel these rumors. In fact, she seemed to relish them. One story stands out among the rest. A neighbor accused Hannah of casting a spell on his wife, who fell gravely ill. Desperate, he went to Hannah, begging for mercy. Hannah simply smiled and said, "Your wife will recover by morning." And so she did. The next day, the woman was healthy again, but the fear of Hannah's powers only grew stronger. Hannah's influence was undeniable. People would avoid her house, taking long detours to steer clear of her supposed witchcraft. But her story doesn't end with her life. No, it's what happened after she died that truly cements her legend. In 1859, as Hannah lay on her deathbed, she made a peculiar request. She demanded that she be carried to her grave by hand, not by cart, and warned that if this request was not honored, disaster would follow. The townsfolk, either out of respect or fear, agreed. But as they carried her coffin through the icy winter, they lost their grip and the coffin tumbled to the ground. Panic ensued, and they hurriedly placed her in a cart to complete the journey. Shortly after, a violent storm erupted, causing chaos and destruction, just as Hannah had warned. To this day, Crana's grave stands as a silent testament to her legend. Visitors claim to feel an eerie presence, and some even hear whispers in the wind, believed to be Hannah's spirit watching over her final resting place. Crana's story is a reminder of the power of belief and the strength of a legend. Whether she was truly a witch or just a misunderstood woman, her tale continues to captivate and terrify those who hear it. Wyoming, Devil's Tower. In the northeastern corner of Wyoming, where the sky meets the rolling plains, rises a colossal formation that defies the ordinary. Devil's Tower, with its sheer cliffs and flat summit, has stood for eons, capturing the imaginations of all who lay eyes on it. But beyond its geological marvel lies a tapestry of legends and lore. For centuries, this towering formation has captivated the imaginations of those who encounter it. Native American tribes, including the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Kiowa, have their own stories explaining the origin and meaning of Devil's Tower. One of the most enduring legends comes from the Lakota tribe. Long ago, 7 young girls were out playing when they were spotted by a giant bear. Desperate to escape, the girls prayed to the Great Spirit for help. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to rise, lifting them high into the sky and out of the bear's reach. The bear, in its furious attempt to reach the girls, clawed at the towering rock, leaving deep grooves and scratches along its sides. The Great Spirit placed the girls safely among the stars, where they became the constellation we know as the Pleiades. Another tale, from the Kiowa tribe, tells of a similar story with a slightly different twist. In their legend, the girls transform into stars as the bear continues to claw at the rock, unable to reach them. These stories, while varied, share a common theme of protection and the inexplicable power of the natural world. But the legends don't end with the Native American tribes. Modern visitors to Devil's Tower often report strange experiences. Some claim to hear whispers in the wind, voices carried from the ancient past. Others speak of eerie lights seen around the tower at night, dancing and flickering like distant stars. Scientists believe Devil's Tower is the core of an ancient volcano, exposed through millions of years of erosion. But for many, the geological explanation doesn't diminish the tower's mystical aura. It's a place where nature and legend intertwine, creating a landscape rich with mystery. Standing at the base of Devil's Tower, you can't help but feel a sense of reverence. The sheer size and majesty of the formation make you wonder about the countless stories it could tell, if only it could speak. Each groove and crack seems to hold a secret, a whisper of the past. Wisconsin, Boy Scout Lane. Nestled near the quiet town of Stevens Point, Boy Scout Lane is an unassuming dirt road that winds through the thick forest. But don't let its serene appearance fool you. This road has a dark past, and the stories that surround it are enough to keep even the bravest souls away after dark. The legend of Boy Scout Lane begins with a tragic tale. They say that many years ago, a troop of Boy Scouts ventured into these woods for a camping trip. But what was meant to be a fun outing turned into a night of horror, as none of them made it out alive. There are several versions of what happened that fateful night. One story tells of a tragic accident. A lantern tipped over, sparking a fire that quickly engulfed the campsite. In the chaos, the boys were trapped and perished in the flames. Another version is even more chilling. It speaks of a deranged scoutmaster who, driven by madness, led the boys into the woods and took their lives one by one. The details are murky, but the end result is always the same. The boys never returned. Today, Boy Scout Lane remains untouched, a silent witness to the tragedy that supposedly occurred. Visitors often report feeling an eerie presence, as if they're being watched. Some claim to hear the faint sounds of children laughing or the rustling of leaves when there's no wind. On moonless nights, the legends say you can see the ghostly figures of the scouts wandering the road, their lanterns flickering in the darkness. Some have even seen small handprints appear on their car windows, as if the spirits of the boys are trying to make contact. Whether it's the tragic accident or the sinister tale of the scoutmaster, one thing is clear. Boy Scout Lane is a place where the past lingers, and the spirits of the lost boys are said to still roam the woods. For those brave enough to explore, Boy Scout Lane offers a haunting experience. But be warned, the sense of dread is palpable, and the stories have a way of getting under your skin. So, if you ever find yourself near Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and you're feeling adventurous, take a trip down Boy Scout Lane. Listen for the whispers of the past, but tread carefully, for some legends are more than just stories. They're warnings. West Virginia, Mothman. We delve into one of the most iconic legends of the Appalachian Mountains. Nestled in the heart of West Virginia, the small town of Point Pleasant holds a mystery that has baffled and terrified for decades. In the quiet town of Point Pleasant, life seemed ordinary enough. But in the late 1960s, something strange began to stir. It started with whispers and strange sightings in the shadows, and soon, the legend of the Mothman was born. It was a crisp November evening in 1966 when two young couples, out for a drive near an old TNT factory, encountered something that would change their lives forever. They described a creature unlike anything they'd ever seen. Large, with glowing red eyes, and wings that spanned over 10 feet. It followed their car, its eerie presence searing into their memories. The sightings quickly made headlines, and more reports came flooding in. Locals described a winged humanoid, capable of incredible speeds, and always those haunting red eyes. The Mothman, as it came to be known, seemed to be everywhere and nowhere, a spectral figure that defied explanation. The old TNT factory, now abandoned, became the epicenter of these sightings. Some believed the Mothman was a harbinger of doom, an omen warning of impending disaster. And sure enough, disaster struck in December of 1967, when the Silver Bridge, connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio, tragically collapsed, claiming 46 lives. Many began to link the Mothman to the tragedy, seeing it as a prophetic figure, appearing to forewarn of calamity. The bridge collapse left the town in mourning, and the legend of the Mothman took on a more sinister tone. Today, Point Pleasant embraces its mysterious past. The Mothman Festival, held annually, draws curious visitors from all over, eager to learn about the legend and the sightings that still occasionally occur. The town is also home to the Mothman Museum, filled with artifacts and stories that keep the legend alive. In the center of town stands a statue, a tribute to the enigmatic creature that has become a part of Point Pleasant's identity. Its metallic wings and piercing eyes serve as a reminder of the mystery that still surrounds this legend. The Mothman legend is a fascinating blend of fear, folklore, and the unexplainable. Whether you believe in the creature or not, the impact it has had on this small town is undeniable. It's a story that continues to captivate and intrigue, a reminder that some mysteries are never fully solved.